best equipment that we've got that we didn't used to have when we started is Gore-Tex and waterproofs. Warm clothes.
That's what I call onesies.
Seriously, I mean, I remember sitting out the hill all night for foxes when I had a set of tweeds on and an old army ground sheet wrapped up in it and almost greeting with the cold, praying for daylight. But now you can go out and you've got all your Gore-Tex and your lovely warm stuff, fleeces, and I mean the kit is, the personal clothing is, I mean it's 100 times superior to what it was when I started.
I even think the rifles that we have now.
Everything. Thermal scopes.
Yeah, but they're just 10 times better than the kit you had. It's just progress, isn't it? It's just there's some really good kit out there now. When I first started, I got a rifle, a Savage rifle, with the shotgun safety. You'd zero it one day, and the next day it would be about 6 inches off to the right. Then you zero it again, and you'd maybe shoot a fox, and then the next time you'd miss it, and you'd got the target, and it was just crap. And now you've got the best of it.
One of the changes, I must admit, I did like was when this walkie-talkie things come in. It's a very handy thing, I must admit. Before, when we had stalking, our only method of communications was smoke. You put up a smoke signal, and that did away with that. And I remember once, it was quite funny. It was a beautiful day like today, and we shot this stag and put up smoke, and then about 10 minutes later up the main road came the fire engine. And
your hand home with the stag.
About half an hour later, back down the road it came again, and apparently at night Mr. Petley the factor phoned up and he asked if I'd seen a fire, and I said no. He says, that's strange. He said there was a report of a fire up Glenclooney. And then it dawned on me, and it turned out to be this two old ladies had come up Glenclooney and stopped for a cup of tea, and they'd seen this smoke, and of course phoned the police and fire brigade, and that was it. Like. So it has, in many ways, the walkie-talkies, I think, made life a lot easier. Same with the mobile phone. If things go wrong, and if you can get a signal, you can get help very quickly. So, yep, that's been a major asset, I would say, to us.
These young lads should get a shot of a Buck's Bism for the month.
A dry one, an old one for
and carry their piece, and he walk to where they have the first fire.
Yeah.
The advancements in fogging units, swipes, is just incredible. Absolutely.
When I first started at going out heather burning, when I was about 14, 15, there'd be about maybe 5 or 6 folk out, and 3 of them would be girls, and the shovels were made with an iron plate with angle iron onto a broom shag, and they weighed a ton, and you had to carry the girls' ones back at night. And you started off from on the road onto the hill, and then you walked and burnt your way back, burnt your way out, and then you walked back in at night.
Burnt your way here.
And nowadays the kit you've got is just brilliant for heather burning.
I think we should still be encouraging our young lads to be using a brush now and again. Nay for any other reason is, if you're lighting a fire and you've got all these leaf blower, fogging unit, all the rest of it, you're inclined to rely on it. And then when it doesn't start, and we all know you didn't pick up a besom and be good at it straight away. Everybody should be having a go on the besom.
Well, you'll remember we were one of the first to get this new, and it wasn't a fogging unit, it was just a pump with a garden hose. But it was revolutionary at the time. And Peter Mill and I went away to burn on the Spirits at Edenglassie one day. We didn't bother taking the bisoms, we didn't need them. So we went, and of course Peter went down to fill the thing up. We had one brush, that we did, had one. And he went away, and of course the bloody argon broke down, and he never come back. And I had left with this fire, just me with one brush, chopping and chopping and chopping. So you can't, like you're saying, didn't rely too heavily on the equipment.
As I said, argon cuts and all that's fine, but in their place, I honestly believe that as regards stocking, they've spoiled stocking in a big way. You're covering most of your ground in one day, and if you do that often, you move your deer off the ground, and it makes life harder.
I started keeping at a 3,000 acre beat, and my house was right in the middle of it, and one half of the beat was kind of hilly low ground and the other half was hill, heather hill, and I had no transport at all. Didn't even have a push bike. I used to borrow the cattle when at Elmford didn't work on a Sunday, so I borrowed the Land Rover on a Sunday, and I used to fill up my feed bins because I had a wee bit of pheasant shoot. But the rest of the time I walked my beat every day with a game bag and a shotgun and a couple of traps, and I walked and I looked every stoat trap and everything, and I tell you, I mean, it was hard going. Some days I've seen me walking home and my feet were dragging, I was just knackered trying to get home. But you were so much more in touch and aware. I think your field craft, I mean, I wouldn't say anything ill about the young lads today, but I don't think they would have, some of them wouldn't have the chance to develop the field craft, if you get what I mean. I mean, we noticed every little thing, a wee bird, a blackie would make a noise or something, and you were so aware, you were so in touch with what was going on around about you because it was just you on your feet. And the amount of stuff I surprised, and you can. And although it was tough going, looking back it was actually more pleasurable for me, but I wouldn't get my Land Rover or my quad bike now, but you get what I mean, it was more pleasurable. I got more out of the job, I think.
There's a lot of memories, when King.
And as part of us is like, well, we need to prove our name. We can't just live in Dad's shadow all the time. So.
Staff that I take on who've never had the opportunity of what my boys was lucky to have.